Okay, I can think of it now. When I realized that, what am I going to do with all my free time once I actually apply these systems? The nature will do the work for me. We think that we have to do so much work. All my gardening, everything I did was always so structured around how much work I had to put into it. And even my dad pushed into me this mentality that farming is hard work, and it's been so ingrained in us that we think it's hard work. But when you look at this system, nature is such a powerful force, and it's always trying to work, and we're constantly stopping it from working. And now, once we understand how it actually works, just a few simple fundamental basics, what are we going to do with all our free time?
My favorite thing I learned was working with water. It's my favorite thing because I grew up in Kampala is a swamp. Actually, the main city of Uganda is a swamp. So, and the reason why it floods a lot, 90% of all the water in Kampala, they don't know what to do with it. So if these people learn how to use that water properly, like as they do teach in permaculture, how to divert and use the waters and swells and dams and everything, we don't have this problem of flooding. You've seen the floods on the way where you're going back home. So if they learn how to use that water, the city will be very beautiful.
My first reaction at first when we started the class, when we entered into a lecture room, it's like it's not coming up. What I had expected was not coming up, but later on it's really something to me. I'm seeing it, it's giving me some better information about agriculture, how to design and so forth. And so I imagine ahead of me I'm going to do something wonderful.
The major thing would be, I think, water conservation and harvesting, because what's been happening because of the changes in weather and climate, we've had issues with communities facing a huge problem with drought, and I think that's because they've been using this conventional kind of agriculture where they strip the land of everything and just leave it bare, which makes most of the water run out of the soil. So with ideas like swells and like keeping the water in your land as much as you can.
I just like that it's an all-inclusive system. I mean, you can feed your whole family, you can feed a community, you can run your own business with it, you can really generate a profit, and you can connect with the earth in a way where you're really respecting it and working with it in a positive way. I like that.
Two things be?
Two things is like growing trees and food forests. Those are the main two things I've seen that we really need to stop cutting out the trees, and for our universe, for our country Uganda to have food, to really have fertile land, we should focusing on planting more trees and food forests and really take care of the land. There's so many other aspects of the course which are really important. I mean, the whole package is so amazing that you cannot do without the other thing, or you cannot do without knowing where you stay. You cannot do without even understanding the water systems in your country, the wind, how the sun is moving, or the moon. So I mean, the whole thing, to me, planting trees is really great, and the food forestry. But to me, you really have to really understand from the core that to plant trees, how am I going to plant them on this piece of land, and how are they going to really serve their full purpose.
Now we want to take the top off. That really, it'll help ensure its survival. So we've already put comfrey in here, and now we're going to plug in this lemongrass. So we got basically the comfrey, which is going to come up, and then we'll have a nice tight lemongrass border, and that'll keep our grasses out of this system. These perennial grasses, the running grasses, come from coming in and choking out. This is an often overlooked aspect of any garden, is what you do on the edges. It's the edges. On that edge, we have the edge of fertility along the compost pile, and on this edge, we have this ecosystem here has got the pressure right now. So while this is establishing itself, it's not going to have the energy to keep it back. So we got to get in our first line of defense.
So far, I think I really like the ethics of permaculture, about people care, earth care, and caring for the environment around you and making sure that it stays alive and sustainable. Yeah, I wanted to try and be like one of the youngest people to teach a course, actually. So I want to get as much experience as I can right after the course, and then try and apply for a teaching position somewhere, if I can.
What are you going to do now that you're a certified permaculturalist?
Double certified. What am I going to do now? Well, I'm going to go back home. I'm going to go back home and start applying permaculture in my own small little garden, which is in the middle of a city. And I'll be there for a few months where I'm going to be raising some funds to come back here. And I want to buy some land here in Uganda. I want to start a small-scale operation of creating medicinal herb products and natural soaps and detergents and things. I find that there's a really, really small market, small to almost non-existent market of natural products here, and people use products. They use laundry detergent so much and soaps, and it's all just ending up in our groundwater. So that concerns me. So I'd love to start an operation with that. Maybe integrate that with some sort of community building group where I could teach women how to make these things and they could sell them for themselves.
It's totally not what I thought it was. I made sure to throw away all the expectations of what I had, because people have strange ideas. They see a few things and they think that everything's like that. Like if we took Vancouver and only showed people pictures of East Hastings, they'd have a totally different idea than what it actually is. The people are always friendly, and I love it here. The colors are so vibrant here, like the greens and the browns of the soil.
This is the education. This is the kind of education we want in Uganda. Personally, it has taught me how to really put hands on stuff, not just talk about stuff and think about what is supposed to be done, and you don't really act. So those Ugandans who are out there who want to take the permaculture course, this is the right time, and it's the right timing to really come on board and experience a whole new world in nature, in plants, in farming, in agriculture, all of that thing, design on land. It's been great. We really thank the people who have been organizing to really make this course happen here. Our teacher Jesse was an amazing teacher, and I really thank his wife to really allow him to come and teach the course in Africa. That was so good. Yep.